Get your ultimate revenge through Massive Success Intro. Revenge. Yes, revenge. No one wants to admit it, but revenge feels good. When someone wronged you, hurt you, tried to destroy you, vengeance is yours. The world has become soft. No one wants to admit the truth, and revenge is useful. Revenge is human nature. Revenge is inner peace. We need inner peace. But how do we get revenge? We change our focus. We program our mind to know. We're working on revenge. Our revenge is a sequence of chess moves. You must focus on the revenge setup. Strategy. Yes, you will win, but it takes strategic moves to get your ultimate revenge. This audiobook will teach you how to get the ultimate revenge. Before you continue with this audiobook, you'll need to hit the subscribe button now and the like button, then this audiobook will continue. Hit the subscribe button now so you can learn how to get your revenge. Part 1. The moment you decide they don't get to win. Chapter 1. Yes, it feels good to win after they tried to break you. Let's stop lying. It feels good to win after someone tried to ruin you. It feels good knowing they're worse off and you're better. It feels good knowing they misplayed their hand, underestimated you, and lost access to something they will never replace. That's not evil. That's human. People love pretending they're above it. They'll tell you revenge is immature, success should be quiet, and you should wish them well. That's easy to say when you weren't the one drained, manipulated, lied to, or treated like a tool. Here's the truth. When someone tried to destroy you emotionally, mentally, financially, or psychologically, and you didn't just survive but leveled up, there's satisfaction in that. Deep satisfaction. Because the score mattered. They thought they had leverage. They thought you'd fold. They thought you needed them. And they were wrong. You don't need to pretend you don't enjoy the reversal. You don't need to hide the fact that it feels good knowing their life got smaller while yours expanded. They made choices. You made better ones. That's not cruelty. That's consequence. Revenge through success isn't about screaming at them. It's about silencing them with reality. It's about becoming proof that they were the weak link, not you. That without them, your life didn't collapse. It accelerated. And yes, it feels good knowing they see it. Seeing your body change, seeing your confidence sharpen, seeing your money grow, seeing your options multiply. Because deep down, they know exactly what happened. They lost control. They lost relevance. They lost the game they thought they were winning. You didn't hurt them. You outplayed them. And you don't owe anyone shame for enjoying the outcome. Chapter 2. They wanted you small because that's where they had power. People don't sabotage you because you're weak. They sabotage you because you're a threat. The truth nobody wants to admit is this. Some people only feel safe when you're uncertain, distracted, and doubting yourself. Your confusion was their comfort. Your hesitation was their leverage. They didn't want you happy. They wanted you manageable. When you stayed tired, insecure, overweight, broke, or unsure, they could influence you. When you started waking up, asking questions, setting boundaries, focusing, they felt it slipping. That's when the pressure starts. Guilt, doubt, narratives, emotional manipulation. They'll call you selfish for prioritizing yourself. They'll say you've changed like it's an insult. They'll try to frame your growth as arrogance or betrayal. Why? Because your improvement exposes their stagnation. Your discipline makes their laziness obvious. Your success highlights their excuses. Your independence removes their relevance. They didn't lose you because you were heartless. They lost you because you stopped being useful to them. That's the part that hurts. And when you succeed without them, it confirms their deepest fear. They weren't the prize. They were the problem. You're allowed to recognize that. You're allowed to enjoy the moment the power flips. You don't need to pretend it doesn't satisfy you to know you were right. Because when someone wanted you small and you became bigger anyway, that win is personal. Chapter 3. The body is the first act of revenge before money, before status, before anything else. You rebuild your body because nothing sends a clearer message to yourself and everyone else than physical transformation. When your body changes, the hierarchy shifts. You walk differently. You speak differently. You tolerate less nonsense. People who once spoke over you now listen. People who disrespected you now watch carefully. Not because you threatened them, but because they feel the difference. Your body is proof of discipline, proof of follow-through, proof that when something matters, you do the work. That's intimidating. And yes, it drives certain people insane. They remember you tired, distracted, out of shape, doubting yourself. Now you're focused, sharp, and controlled. That contrast eats at them because it destroys the version of you they had power over. You didn't rebuild your body for them, but knowing it bothers them, that's the bonus. Every workout is a reminder. You didn't break. You adapted. The gym is where self-pity dies, where excuses get exposed, where the version of you that needed validation gets replaced by the version that doesn't care. That's revenge, step 1. Chapter 4. Money is how you make it permanent. Confidence without money is temporary. Money changes the game because it removes dependence. And dependence is where people had leverage over you. When your finances improve, your emotional reactions disappear. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop negotiating your worth. You stop explaining why you deserve better. Because now, you don't need permission. Money doesn't argue. Money doesn't explain. Money doesn't beg. It just changes your position. And when your position changes, so does the dynamic. People who once tried to control you suddenly can't. Their tactics stop working. Their guilt doesn't land. Their opinions don't matter. That's not arrogance, that's freedom. You don't have to flaunt it. You don't have to announce anything. Living better is loud enough. Better space, better routines, better peace. They notice. And yes, it feels good knowing they notice. Knowing they realize they misjudged you. Knowing they lost access to someone who upgraded without them. Knowing they can't rewrite the story anymore because reality is visible. That's revenge through success. Not dramatic, not messy, just final. Get your revenge through massive success. Part 2. The Shift They Can't Stop, Chapter 5. Silence is how you take control back. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is power. The moment you stop explaining, reacting, defending, or correcting the record, the power balance flips. People who fed off your emotional responses suddenly lose access. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know where you stand. They don't know what you're building. And that drives them insane. Because control requires information, and silence starves them of it. You don't owe anyone updates. You don't owe anyone clarity. You don't owe anyone emotional availability. They had access once. They lost it. That's not cruelty. That's boundaries enforced without conversation. Silence forces people to sit with their own assumptions. They replay old moments. They rewrite stories. They guess. And every guess costs them peace. Meanwhile, you're not arguing. You're not processing. You're not explaining how hurt you were. You're busy building something that doesn't include them. That contrast is brutal. They're stuck in the past. You're stacking the future. Silence also removes leverage. When people know how to push your buttons, they control the outcome. When they don't get reactions, the game ends. They can poke, hint, bait, or provoke, but nothing lands. You're gone. And when your life improves in that silence, it sends the loudest message possible. I didn't need you to win. No announcement beats that. Chapter 6. Cutting them off is not cruel, it's strategic. You don't cut people off because you're emotional. You cut them off because you learned. Every relationship has a cost. Some people cost time, some cost energy, some cost focus, some cost momentum, and some cost your future. When you realize someone is draining more than they're contributing, the decision is simple. You remove them. No speeches, no explanations, no one last talk. Just distance. People who benefited from your access will label this as cruelty. That's predictable. When you stop feeding a system that relied on you, the system cries foul. Ignore it. You're not required to keep bleeding so others feel comfortable. You're not required to carry dead weight because of history. Loyalty to people who sabotage your progress is not virtue. It's self-destruction. And yes, it feels good knowing they feel the loss. Because for once, they're the ones adjusting. They're the ones confused. They're the ones dealing with the absence of something they thought they owned. You didn't abandon them. You outgrew them. That distinction matters. Cutting someone off isn't about punishment. It's about protecting momentum. You don't rebuild your life while keeping anchors tied to your ankle. When you choose yourself without apology, the entire dynamic resets. That's power. Chapter 7. Success exposes who was riding you. Here's something nobody warns you about. Success exposes everyone. When you start winning, certain people change. Some disappear. Some resent you. Some suddenly need explanations. Some rewrite history like they supported you all along. Watch closely. People who benefited from you being confused don't celebrate clarity. People who relied on your insecurity don't cheer confidence. People who used your attention don't like boundaries. Your success removes the illusion. And yes, knowing they see it hurts them. Seeing you confident when they expected collapse. Seeing you disciplined when they expected distraction. Seeing you move on without asking permission. That hits harder than any argument ever could. Success doesn't just upgrade your life, it invalidates their narrative. They can't say you'd fail without them. They can't say you needed them. They can't say you were the problem. Reality contradicts them. You don't need to rub it in. The contrast does that automatically. Better body, better routine, better money, better options. They feel it. And yes, there is satisfaction in that. Real satisfaction. Not petty, not loud, just knowing the score flipped and stayed flipped. That's revenge through success. Chapter 8. No closure is the closure. The biggest lie ever sold is that you need closure to move on. You don't. Closure is a conversation designed to soothe the person who lost control. It's an emotional transaction that benefits them, not you. No closure is closure. Silence is final. Distance is final. Your life improving without them is final. You don't need mutual understanding. You don't need agreement. You don't need an apology. You need distance and progress. And here's the part people don't say out loud. It feels good knowing they never got the ending they wanted, knowing they never got to rewrite the story, knowing they're stuck wondering while you're already gone. That's not cruelty. That's reality. Some people don't deserve peace. They deserve consequences. And the consequence of losing access to you is something they carry alone. You don't need to wish them well. You don't need to wish them harm. You just need to win. And the moment you stop caring what they think, that's when revenge completes itself. Get your revenge through massive success. Part 3, where it ends for them and begins for you. Chapter 9. You don't need to be seen. You need to be unreachable. There's a point where attention stops being useful. Early on, it fuels you. It sharpens you. It keeps the fire burning. But if you stay chasing reactions, you stay tethered to the past. Real power shows up when you don't need to be noticed at all. Unreachable beats admired. When you become unreachable, people can't test you. They can't bait you. They can't pull you back into old roles. They can't get access to your emotions, your time, or your direction. That's when the balance truly flips. You stop checking who saw what. You stop caring who noticed. You stop wondering if they know. Because your life doesn't require an audience. Unreachability isn't hiding. It's priority. It's choosing your routine over reaction, your mission over memory. It's being busy with something that actually matters. And yes, the irony is brutal. The moment you stop caring if they see you is the moment they can't stop seeing you. Not because you're loud, because you're gone. Unavailable, unbothered, untouchable. That's when the old dynamic dies completely. Chapter 10. Indifference is the real finish line. Here's the twist nobody tells you about revenge through success. Eventually, the satisfaction fades. Not because you lost, but because you no longer need it. You stop checking. You stop comparing. You stop replaying. Not out of forgiveness, out of completion. Indifference isn't healing. It's graduation. It means the past no longer has leverage. It means the outcome is settled. It means you're not emotionally invested in how they're doing, what they think, or whether they regret anything. They become background noise. And that's devastating for people who once centered their identity around you. Because now, your success isn't a message to them. Your silence isn't strategic. Your distance isn't intentional. It's natural. They didn't lose you to anger. They lost you to progress. That's the final loss. Chapter 11. Build something they can't touch. Winning isn't a moment. It's a structure. You don't just succeed, you build systems that keep you ahead. Routines, income streams, habits, standards. You create a life that doesn't wobble when opinions show up. A life that doesn't collapse when someone leaves. A life that doesn't depend on validation. That's when you know it's real. Because now, even if someone tried to interfere, it wouldn't matter. They don't have access. They don't have influence. They don't have relevance. You're operating in a different league. And yes, knowing they see you stable, focused, and winning without chaos, that lands. Because chaos was how they stayed connected to you. Now there's nothing to attach to. That's dominance through structure. Chapter 12. The final insult is that you move on. The final insult isn't success. It's moving on without ceremony. No final words, no victory lap, no acknowledgement, just life continuing. Better. They expected closure. They expected an ending. They expected significance. They got silence. And that silence isn't loud because it's dramatic. It's loud because it's final. You didn't destroy them. You didn't punish them. You left them behind. That's the end they never planned for. And when you realize you're no longer emotionally invested in how they're doing, that's when you know you won. Not because they suffered, but because you didn't. You got stronger. You got clearer. You got better. And you didn't need to apologize for any of it.